Hi everyone. Welcome back to the spring semester 2021. I hope you guys had a wonderful break and are excited to get back into the classroom and work on your drawings again. For the spring semester, we did portraiture in the fall. In the spring semester, we'll be doing cast drawing, which is drawings from plaster cast, and still life. So it's all related to working on the still life. And what I'd like to do in this session is we will go over the class schedule and the syllabi. Before we get to that, just a quick reminder that we will once again be working online, and it will be done through Canvas. So a couple things to keep in mind. When you get up every day and you get ready for your class, make sure you go to Canvas, sign in, get logged in. Then the first thing you want to do is make sure you go into discussions and sign in for your attendance. This needs to be done in the first 10 minutes of class. And you want to make sure you stay on top of your attendance. Unless we hear differently, we should be doing this semester the same as the past. So I try to keep it as simple and as unified as possible, and you should be able to just follow along and do what you've been doing so far. So first things first, make sure you go to discussions, Canvas, discussions, and then sign in. Be sure and list your first name, your last name, and what period you are in, so that it's timestamped, so it all gets documented, and that way you don't have any problems with your attendance. Once you complete your attendance, be sure and go to announcements. That's the next most important thing. I try to enter an announcement weekly, so every week you should get a string. Sometimes in some weeks we have more than one announcement. If there's more information that needs to be given out to you guys, then we need to make sure we get that to you. So be sure to read all the announcements. There's always some pretty important information in there. Some of it can be similar week to week, but there are definitely things that change throughout the course of the semester, and you don't want to miss something that's important. Once you've signed in, done your attendance, read all the announcements, then you may go to assignments. The assignments will be done the same way they were in the fall. Most of the content will all be provided to you in pre-recorded live sessions. Due to the nature of the number of classes that I have in each period and number of students in each period, I'm unable at this point to do live sessions through Teams. So all my sessions are pre-recorded live, just as if they were in the classroom. And you can watch the videos and get all the content that way, and then make sure you do the assignment and submit it. And follow the directions when you submit it so that it gets back to me without any trouble. So again, one thing that's important is in the assignments, there's usually at least one video most of the time. Sometimes there's more than one video, but you want to make sure you follow the video closely, but you always want to do the drawing from the PDF that is provided. Sometimes the demonstration is very helpful because it explains certain things, but it may not necessarily be the PDF that is provided for you to work from. So for example, if I'm giving an example of shading, I may provide a video of shading different objects, but then the PDF may be a completely different subject matter, but the principles will apply to that subject matter. So it can be very helpful to follow along with the video and then work from the PDF. Also, what's really convenient and what a lot of my students have expressed that they're really happy with is that they can watch the videos, they can pause the videos, they can replay it. Sometimes when I'm in the classroom, it happens, the demonstration goes too fast and they miss certain elements, or they can't always hear, or my back is in the way blocking the view. And they found that this has actually been very helpful to see the videos this way. So I hope that's the case for you guys. So that kind of is the essence of everything. Make sure you get into Canvas, you do your attendance, you read the announcements, and then you go through the assignments and try to get everything submitted by the due dates. So now what I'd like to do is very quickly, I would like to go through the class schedule, the topics that we'll be covering throughout the semester. We will begin the very first week. You will get a student reflection that I would like for you to fill out, ask a couple of fun questions, and then there's some other things that are very helpful for me. So try to answer them as honestly as possible, because I want to provide the best opportunity for you to get a great education in the arts, and so the answers can help that be real clear to me, and if I need to make changes, how I might be able to do that to help you guys. So student reflection will be your first big assignment for the semester. After that, we'll get into drawing. Once we get into drawing, and because of that, you want to make sure you guys get your sketch pad. Remember, you need the toned paper. Make sure you have your colored pencils, erasers, and white pencil for doing highlights. Make sure you get all your materials ordered very quickly. If you don't get it in right away, you're going might find yourself in a bit of a hole and pretty far behind. So, and I've provided an additional video that goes over all of your materials again, just so that you can get a review of what you need to have. And make sure you get that ordered very quickly so that we can start. We will start, I think it's the week of the 11th, January 11th is when we'll actually start with our drawing sessions. So for this, at this point, I'd like to go very quickly over the class schedule. The beginning obviously will be the students' reflection, which you'll have the first week to work on. Then we're going to spend 2 or 3 weeks going over geometric shapes. And the reason being is most still life objects are based on the concept of geometric shapes. So we're going to spend a bit of time this first 3 weeks drawing geometric shapes and different compositional designs. We'll work on shading, we'll work on adding backgrounds, and doing kind of complete renderings of the geometric shapes into a fairly artistic little composition. That is the goal. Once we get the hang of that, and hopefully your shading will start to really improve. And again, make sure you're really working hard on the shading. That's one element of this class, the portraiture and still life class, that I think has an advantage over the other classes. We spend a lot of time working on shading, and so make sure that you're turning in work that is shaded, fully shaded, and really enjoy that. That's one of the most fun parts of drawing. So after the 3 weeks here of working on the geometric shapes and shading, we will begin with fruit. We will start off with apples and pears, which are basically pretty similar to drawing and shading spheres. You'll see a lot of the similarities, and I'll go over that when we get to that point. After the apples and pears, what I hope to do is we will do some drawings of gourds. And then after gourds, we'll go into a mixture of fruits and vegetables. And we'll do a variety of those. And that'll get us more or less through the first 9 weeks, through quarter 3, somewhere around there. I think that should get us to the end of the quarter 3. After the fruits and vegetables, then we'll move into flowers, and we'll do a couple of weeks of flowers. We'll draw different types of flowers and different arrangements where you can work on the vase that holds the flower as well as the flowers themselves. So it's some good challenges to work on to improve your shading and your compositional design. After the flowers, we do a section that I call Tools of the Trade, where I'll set up so it looks like an artist studio where you'll draw some tubes of paint, maybe an easel, maybe a little painting on the easel with some paint brushes. It's kind of a fun way to do a still life and make it look like it's part of an artist studio or artist setup. And we'll spend a week or so doing that. After that, we'll spend several weeks doing cast drawing. Cast drawing is something that's been done in the arts for ages. It's the way to really master an understanding of learning how to draw the subject at hand. We will do cast drawing. It may include hands, it may include feet, it may include portrait bust. There's a variety of different things. It's a very classical way of learning how to draw. So you'll be drawing from the plaster cast, and trying to make it look as realistic and lifelike as possible. And I think you'll actually enjoy that. And some of the images that I will provide for you may be actual drawings that were done from plaster cast. And when you look at the drawings, you may actually think they are the original, the real deal. So you'll see how well people are able to do that. After the cast drawing, the last couple of weeks of school, the end of quarter 4, we do something that I think is really fun. I call it the Still Life Manifested. And what we'll do is we create a series, we take a little bit of what we learned in the first semester, which was drawing the portraits, but there'll be fruit faces or vegetable faces. So we'll take different fruits and different vegetables, and we'll combine them in a way that creates and looks like an actual portrait. It sounds kind of confusing, and I will give you some images to work from. And I think you'll find that actually really fun and challenging. In the years past, students have always loved when we get to that portion. So it's kind of taking this concept of still life and pushing it even further on into something that's very expressive, creative, and original. And that should get us pretty much to the end of the year. So the main focus in all the different subject matter that we'll be doing throughout the spring semester will be on shading. So really put a lot of effort, a lot of work into shading. And I'll give a review here at the beginning on shading. You may even go over what the shading principles that we talked about a little bit in the fall, but you'll definitely see how they'll start to apply in a very important way through the spring semester. So that sums up the class schedule for the spring. And just remember, if you have any questions throughout the spring or you're not sure of what to do or how to do it, please contact me through Canvas inbox. You also can contact me through Canvas inbox and request a private conference through Microsoft Teams if you really need help with something that you'd like to go over. I'm more than happy to do that. We can find a mutual time that works for you as well as for myself, and we can set up the Teams live conference and go over a few things if that's needed, in addition to the instruction that's provided in the live video recordings, the pre-recordings. So don't hesitate to contact me. Remember, contact me anytime you need through Canvas inbox. Every time we have classes to meet, make sure you get signed on in Canvas. Make sure you do your attendance through discussions, read the announcements, and then you can move on to your assignments. And don't forget in the assignments to make sure that you're working from the PDF in addition to watching the videos. In some cases, the assignment will be what's in the video. In some cases, it may be different, but you need to make sure you watch the videos in their entirety as they will explain everything that you're needing to do in the drawing itself and the technique, especially of how to shade things appropriately so you can make something that's very real and classically done and beautifully finished. I would like to say at this time, I'm really proud of the quality of work that I received from you guys in the fall. I believe it was one of the best sections I've ever had in the fall in terms of you guys really working hard on your artwork and producing some absolutely amazing works of art. Congratulations. And I hope you continue that through the spring. And if anything, I hope I get excited when you guys submit work. I hope it's even better this spring. So have a great spring semester. And again, if you need anything, please contact me through Canvas inbox. Thank you.